This is Radio Nepal. I'm Kaushal Khimide with the news. The headlines first. Government decides to provide free treatment to people injured in Jajarkot earthquake. All dead bodies handed over to families. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda directs concerned bodies to carry out relief and rehabilitation efforts for quake victims effectively. Foreign Affairs Minister N.P. South says his U.S. visit was successful. And U.S. pushes for pause in fighting as Israel says it has got Gaza in two. Now the news in detail. The government has decided to make an integrated action plan and build earthquake-resistant housing within 1 year for the rehabilitation of those affected by the Jajarkot earthquake. The emergency meeting of the Council of Ministers at Singh Durbar yesterday took a decision to pick Surkhet as the main liaison office and Nepalganj as the auxiliary liaison office to make the search, rescue and relief distribution effective. Minister for Communications and Information Technology and Government spokesperson Rekha Sharma said the Cabinet also decided to accept assistances received through the formal proposal from neighbouring and friendly nations for the relief and rehabilitation of the quake-affected people. Minister Sharma added that the government would provide 200,000 rupees to families of each person killed in the earthquake and the government hospitals would provide free treatment to the injured. The earthquake, measuring 6.4 magnitude on Friday with its epicenter in Jajarkot, has claimed 157 people so far. The Home Ministry has handed over the dead bodies of all 157 victims to the related families. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda has issued directives for making the relief and rehabilitation for the Jajarkot earthquake victims effective. Addressing the meeting of the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Authority held in Singh Durbar yesterday, the Prime Minister instructed the bodies concerned to carry out the relief and rehabilitation operations effectively. He directed for managing warm clothes to the earthquake victims and for making treatment for them effective. Prime Minister Dahal also expressed profound sorrow over the loss of life and property caused by the earthquake. Deputy Prime Minister and Defence Minister Purna Bahadur Khadka has said all earthquake survivors will get relief assistance within the next 2 days. Paying tribute to people who lost their lives in the recent devastating earthquake in Jajarkot yesterday, Deputy Prime Minister Khadka said the government had kept medical treatment, relief and rehabilitation of the earthquake survivors in priority. He added that the reconstruction works would begin immediately after the relief distribution was over. Chinese President Xi Jinping has expressed his grief sorrow over the loss of life and property caused by the Jajarkot earthquake. In his message of condolence to President Ramchandra Paudel, the Chinese president offered deep condolences to the bereaved families and wished for the speedy recovery of the injured people. The Chinese president said China was willing to provide necessary disaster assistance to Nepal. Likewise, Chinese Premier Li Xiang has also extended condolences to Nepali Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda over the Friday's earthquake. Foreign Affairs Minister Narayan Prakash Saud has declared his recent visit to the United States as a significant stride in strengthening Nepal-US relations. Upon his arrival yesterday, he expressed satisfaction over the enhanced mutual friendship, cooperation and assistance between the two nations. During his visit, Minister Saud held a productive meeting with the U.S. Secretary of State, Antony J. Blinken, where they pledged to amplify bilateral cooperation. Saud appealed for increased U.S. support in various sectors, including IT development, food security, agriculture, market access, investment and trade. The timely execution of the Millennium Challenge Corporation MCC projects was also a topic of discussion during his visit. In the press briefing, South revealed that he has extended an invitation to Secretary Blinken for a visit to Nepal. The minister embarked on his U.S. journey on October 29th. The remains of all 10 Nepali students killed in the last month's assault by Hamas militants in the southern part of Israel have been brought home. According to the Foreign Ministry's Joint Secretary, Sarat Raj Aran, with the arrival of the body of Padam Thapa of Doti district via the Fly Dubai flight, Nepal has received the mortal remains of those killed in the attack. Similarly, rescue efforts are underway for Bipin Joshi of Bhimdatta Municipality, Ward Number 3 in Kanchanpur, who has gone missing since Hamas attack. You're listening to Radio Nepal's 8 a.m. English News Bulletin. Now on to some international updates. The U.S. Secretary of State has arrived in Turkey as he continues his diplomatic tour of the region and a push for a pause in the fighting. Speaking earlier in Iraq's capital Baghdad, Antony Blinken said regional leaders would welcome a humanitarian pause in Gaza. Israel says it needs progress on the release of hostages before agreeing to any pause in its offensive. Meanwhile, the Israeli military says troops have reached the coastline in the south of Gaza City. Now sports. Host India have defeated South Africa by 243 runs in yesterday's match of the ongoing ICC Men's ODI Cricket World Cup. India made 326 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in the allocated 50 overs after winning the toss and batting first. In reply, South Africa were bundled out for only 83 runs in the 28th over of the match, losing the match by 243 runs. Now, the general weather forecast for the country for today, according to the Meteorological Forecasting Division. The weather will be partly cloudy in the hilly regions of the country and mainly fair in the rest of the country. There were also possibility of light snowfall at 1 or 2 places of the high hilly and mountainous region of Kosi province. With this, we have almost come to the end of this news bulletin, but before wrapping up, let's have a reminder of the headlines once again. Government decides to provide free treatment to people injured in Jajarkot earthquake, all dead bodies handed over to families. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda directs concerned bodies to carry out relief and rehabilitation efforts for quake victims effectively. Foreign Affairs Minister N.P. South says his visit to the United States was successful. And U.S. pushes for pause in fighting as Israel says it has cut Gaza in two. Well, that's all the news we have for this bulletin. Our next bulletin in English will be at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website www.onlineradionepal.gov.np. Keep listening to Radio Nepal and have a good day.